This package arrived from Softflex, so you know what time it is. Hello, welcome, my name's Carol. Today I'm going to be opening the Rainy Days Softflex Bead Design Challenge kit, and I'm going to be making something with the beads, so follow along with me. This package arrived a few weeks ago and I haven't had a chance to open it because I was unwell, but it's finally time to get it open and have a look at the beads, and we're going to make something, so let's get started. Okay, so here's the package. It came with a little string of beads around the outside, and we're going to open it. Let's start with the Softflex. This is the Softflex beading wire that came in the pack. The colour is tanzanite. It's a medium. It's absolutely gorgeous, stunning colour, isn't it? Let's put that aside for a minute. We've got a strand of these gorgeous beads. They are blue and grey. Absolutely stunning. I think they're probably about 2 centimetres long. Absolutely gorgeous. We have another strand of blue and gold beads, and they have a little bit of colour on them as well. Another stunning strand. I've got some little purple beads. You know I love purple, so this is always going to be in my favour. In this bag we have 2 different kinds of beads. So we've got these 4, they look a little bit like tractor tyres, but they're very cool. The hole goes from the top there through, so those are cool. And these are some faceted rondelles. They are in a creamy and chocolate kind of colour, so I'm enjoying this already. I'm going to put these over here. We've got some crimp tubes. They are black, and in this bag we have 2 pairs, by the looks of it, of ear wires. These cute cloud charms, a clasp, and some umbrellas. So that's kind of fun. Not sure what I'm going to do with them, but we'll figure it out. These are Jessie James Rainy Day Blues, so let's have a look at what's in here. Goodness me, I'm going to just put them down. There's lots in here. We have 2 of these which have a little bail on the top. They're kind of cool, really cool colours. We've got 4 of these beads, which are navy blue. We've got 4 of these purples, absolutely my colours. 6 of these, which are kind of a faceted coin bead, and they're in black. 6 of these cubes in an aqua colour. 2 of those, which are beautiful. And I've got 2 of these. Okay, I've got some rhinestone rondelles there. There's another one of those. And they have the rhinestones set into them. And purple, how wonderful. These beads are a very interesting shape. They are like a spinning top shape. Don't know if you can see that. And the hole is actually at the top, so they'll hang like a charm. Gosh, there's a lot in this pack. Some more rhinestone rondelles, and I've got some bead caps, some daisy spaces, and these are very interesting beads as well. They're a really cool colour. They are so shiny, they look like mirrors, and the hole goes that way. And these are really amazing as well. They're quite heavy, these beads actually, so those are lovely as well. And then we have this rather large bag here, which I am going to open. And I'm going to tip them out into this dish so they don't all fly away. So we have some faceted teardrops. We have some small faceted rondelles. They're in a navy blue. They're so pretty. I'm going to actually put those in a little cup. We have some purple, but kind of a muted grape colour faceted rondelles. I'm going to put those in a cup as well. We have these aqua coloured faceted rondelles. These ones are a grey and aqua, so they've got a kind of a blue sheen to them. They're very pretty. These ones are a very soft blue, kind of a greyish sky blue, and they are the same size as the others. And lastly, we have some teeny tiny clear seed beads. Wow, that's a lot in this pack. And now I have to decide what I'm going to do with them. I'm obviously not going to use all of these beads for my piece today because there's just so many. It would make 3 necklaces, but I'm going to try and make a necklace using what I have here. I might need some other things, but we'll start with what we've got. I think I might use this one as the focal because it's such a pretty bead. I have 2 of them, but I think that we will create the focal with that. Although I do really love these, and those are really stunning as well. Gosh, big decisions. I'm actually wondering if I should use a connector and use some of these beads on a connector. What I've decided to do is use this connector. As you can see, it's got 3 loops on the bottom, so I'm going to make 3 dangles to go on the bottom of this. I kind of like these little blue beads here. Maybe they could be on the bottom of the dangle, but I also really like these ones, and I can't decide whether I would like the purple or the blue better. Shame I didn't have 3 of these because those would look quite cool. My colours for the autumn and winter season are, my main colours are purple, of course, because you know I love purple, and aqua, kind of mint, those colours. So this colour scheme works perfectly for that. Maybe this one is the better choice because these are too big, I think. And I actually think I'd like to use those in the strand of the necklace rather than on the dangle. But I do have all these beads over here too. Ooh, choices, so many choices. I always find when I'm designing a piece that if I'm making dangles, I need to put them on the wire so that I can see how they'll hang. So that's what I'm going to do. The wire I'm using is a 20 gauge half hard wire from Beadsmith. So I also really love these ones. So I'm wondering if we could do something with those and the purples. I just can't decide. The first thing I'm going to do is make a loop in the end of my wire. So I'm just cutting my wire so I have a flush cut, so that I'll get a nice loop. And I'm going to make a bend in my wire like that. Now I'm going to take my round nose pliers and make a loop. If you haven't made loops before, I'll leave you a link in the description box to all of the techniques I'm using today. There we go, there's my loop. And I'm going to thread on, I think, ooh, I might go with one of these. And then my big purple sparkly bead and another one of those. Let's see what that looks like. It's quite nice, but if I want to add some aqua in here, maybe I need to add some aqua to this. So I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to try these beads. Ooh, I quite like that. What do you think? Trying one more thing. I'm not sure I like that. I feel like we need some silver on there, so I might grab some silver, little silver balls. You know, they're my favorite beads. All right, so let's try this. Let's try putting on a platinum ball first. This is a 3mm platinum ball. There we go. And then we'll put on the navy and our little sparkly one. No, changed my mind. That's quite nice, but I think it might be too long for what I want. So I'm going to put the loop on and then I'm going to attach it and see how I feel. To make my loop, I'm going to make a bend at the top of the beads, and I'm going to take my flush cutters and cut at about 1 centimetre from the bend and use my round nose pliers to make the bend. Now I could absolutely use my one-step looper for this, but I'm just making loops because I have my round nose pliers here. There's my dangle, and my purpose for doing this was actually to hang something off it, and I was thinking about hanging my cube off it. So let's pop that on a head pin and see what that looks like. Can we visualize that? I think that works. Let's make a loop in this one. Actually, I'm going to grab my one-step looper, make it easy. There's my little component, and as you can see, I didn't get very close with one-step looper. I think I probably should have done it without, just with my pliers, because sometimes when you've got a square bead, it does have difficulty getting in there. But I'm going to add it and we'll see what it looks like. So what I'm doing is opening my loop here and popping on my dangle and closing that up. My little bead wanted to go down inside the loop. So there we go. It's quite a long dangle, but let's have a look and see what it looks like on our focal. Just opening the loop, and I'm feeding it on so that the opening of the loop is at the back, and closing the loop. So there it is, and it is quite long, but I actually quite like it. But I don't think I'll do the aqua cube on all of the dangles. I might put them on a head pin instead. Let's see how that looks. This time I'm going to take a head pin and I'm going to feed on my little ball. Get some over here. So my 3mm, this little navy bead, another 3mm, my large purple bead, another 3mm, an aqua bead, just pop that one over there because I didn't use it, and one more 3mm. I'll pop that one over there too because I didn't use him either. And I'll just make a loop in the top. So there's my dangle, and I'm going to attach it to the outside loop. And I'm going to make another one just because I think you'll get a better feel for what it's going to look like if we make two. There it is. What do you think? I really like it. All right, so that is the center focal for our necklace. Now we need to string some beads, and I might bring in my bead board so that I can kind of lay things out. I don't have anywhere near enough room on my board. Before I add this connector to my necklace, I need to do one more thing. You'll note that the loop on this connector is flat, and so then if I string it onto a piece of wire, it's going to hang this way. So I need to add a jump ring. So I've got a 6mm jump ring here, and I'm going to add it to my connector. So I'm taking 2 pairs of chain nose pliers, and I'm going to hold my jump ring on either side, and I'm going to open it like that, and then I'm going to feed on my connector and close my jump ring. And as I said, all of the techniques that I've used today will be listed. There'll be links to videos in the description box. Now when I run my stringing material through here, it will hang the right way. So I'm just going to pop that on my board here at the bottom because that's what we need to work from. And then we're going to start designing this necklace. I've got some big beads here. I really love these blue ones, but do they work with the purple theme? That is the question. So let's pop those on. I also really love these blue beads. But it's looking very blue, so I need to add some purple and some of the aqua. else have I got here? I've got these aqua ones, which I think just sprinkle them around. I kind of like the idea of having them quite close there, like that. But I think that's too much. Maybe we'll put 2 there, and then we'll put a big bead. It's a real shame I don't have more of these. But I do also have these, which they go really well with the connector. But they won't look good there. But they might look good there. Ooh, decisions. That one there as well. I like that together. I'm not sure about that. I have some of these smaller bicones, these smaller silver bicones that kind of mirror that shape there. So I'm thinking that maybe I put those on either side of these blue beads. That looks quite good. Would that look good between these ones as well? Oh, yes, I like that. I feel like I need to bring in some purple because my dangle has the purple in it, but I don't really have any of the purple in my necklace so far, so I need to add some. Now I could use these lighter colour beads, but I feel they're too light. Maybe we'll exchange some of these for these ones. They're reading very blue, so maybe it's the grape. I don't really like that. Let's try these ones. Nope, they're too light. I'm actually going to go and have a look for some purple beads to put between these, so I'll be back shortly. I've got 3 options here. This one is a bronze one and it's got an AB finish. It is quite purple though. This one is purple with an AB finish and this one is purple without an AB finish. So let's try all of them. Let's start with the bronze. That reads as really purple, so I quite like that. If I take this one out, let's try the purple with the AB finish. Not sure. That one reads as too blue, we can see that. I think that one reads as too blue too. I think we might go with this one. So I'm going to put one of those in there and one of those here. And I think that works better. I'm so sorry, my camera cut out while I was filming and I laid out the rest of the beads and didn't realise that it wasn't filming it. So I have done that already. At the moment it measures 22 centimetres on each side, but when it strings up it'll be a little bit shorter than that. But that will give me a necklace probably about 45 centimetres long. We'll see when we get them all strung up. Now I've got a live stream coming up with my jewel box group and I'm going to actually use the rest of these beads to make a project with them on the live stream. So if you are interested in seeing what I make with these, you will have to join my membership. Shameless self-promotion there. There's a link in the description box below. Also, I have here a 6mm jump ring, a 4mm jump ring, 2 crimp tubes and 2 wire guardians, and I decided to go with a silver clasp. This is actually a platinum one rather than the black because I felt like it worked better. Don't worry about all these other beads that I have. I will be making something with them. I just haven't decided what yet. We're going to string this necklace up and I am going to use the soft flex because I love this stuff. It is so beautiful and I love the colour. You won't see much of it, but it's still really nice. I need a piece that is going to be longer than my necklace. Probably about that will do. And I'm going to start by putting on my clasp. I need to crimp this end, so I'm going to put on my crimp tube first. And then actually before I do that, I always forget to do this, don't I? I always have to go back and do it. I'm going to take my 4mm jump ring and I'm going to attach it to my clasp. So taking my 4mm jump ring in my pliers, I'll move this out of the way so you can see. And my pliers like that, with the split at the top. And I'm opening my jump ring and I'm going to put on my clasp. Now I like to attach my clasps with a 4mm. You could use a 6 if that was what you had or you prefer. Just making sure that is really well closed. There we go. There is my clasp with its little jump ring attached. I'll bring this back. And we're going to feed on our wire guardian next. If you haven't seen a wire guardian before, I'll leave you a link in the description box so you know how it works. So up one side and down the other. And the reason I'm using a wire guardian is to protect my wire firstly, and also so that it doesn't slip out of the jump ring. It just makes it a little bit more secure. So that's what I have. And now I'm going to feed on the 4mm jump ring that I just attached my clasp to and feed that up inside that wire guardian like that. Now I'm going to put my crimp tube up over the end of my soft flex. So both ends go through my crimp tube. I'm going to use my magical crimping plier to squeeze my crimp tube and make it look like a bead. So I'm going to take that. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to squeeze my wire guardian together a little bit so that I can get my crimp tube just slightly closer. And I'm going to take my crimp tube in the pliers there and twist. Now with these magical crimp pliers, you need to have a 2mm crimp tube. It doesn't have to be a magical one, it can be just any old 2mm crimp tube. I'm just testing it and it feels nice and secure, and I'm going to chop off some of that end. I do like to leave a little tail on mine that goes down between the beads. I just feel it's more secure and it hides it better. I'm going to start off, I'm going to twist my bead board around here, and you'll see here at the top I have 2 of my 3mm beads, and that is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to start with one of those beads. I do find them a little challenging to get out of the channel. And then go ahead and feed on my beads. And as you can see, I alternated my aqua and my blue beads here. And each one has a little 3mm ball between. Actually, because you didn't see me laying out the beads, I'll talk you through it as I string them. Okay, so I've got my kind of the back part of my necklace strung on there, and that's the part that, you know, is up around your neck and you don't really see it, which is why I've used the smaller beads there. And also it's more comfortable than using big beads around the back of your neck. Next, I'm going with one of my metal bicones and then my big blue bead. And I initially thought about putting a rondelle, one of these purple rondelles on here, but it just didn't look right. Next, I have another rondelle, so one rondelle on either side of my blue bead. And then I added a little bit of aqua with this cube, simply because I needed to bring the aqua up to the back of the necklace a little bit. Another rondelle and a purple or bronze coloured rondelle. And then I decided to add one of these little rhinestone rondelles because I felt like it needed something next to this big bead to kind of step it up. And I know it's a small one, but it kind of worked. I hope it works. And then this big rondelle, this is it's like a flying saucer. So that's what I have at the moment. Now I've got my really large bead here and my other flying saucer bead. And I just repeated I kind of reversed that back down towards the center. So another rondelle, rhinestone rondelle, another bronze rondelle, silver, and then a cube, just to give it that little pop of aqua. I know you guys are thinking I say that weird, but I think you guys say it weird. And then I'm going with my big blue bead again. We're nearly there. One more bicone, the silver ones. One more of the bronze beads, another silver one, and finally an aqua. Just run those down. Now I do need to make sure that my tail tucks down inside all of my beads. It might take you a minute to do that. It's actually quite long, this tail. I might chop it there. What I find is if I've got a bigger bead, I chop it so that it finishes inside that bigger bead, and that kind of tucks it inside there without any issues. So there we go. It is reading as very blue, and I did want it to be more purple. I decided to go with it because I really liked it. Okay, now I'm that far, I need to put on my focal. Actually, before I do that, I might test. Looking at that, it looks like it's about the right length, and you can always use the extender which I showed you in the hematite and turquoise necklace to make it longer if you need to. All right, so I'm going to put on my focal now, and all I have to do here is thread my tiger tail through the jump ring. So you can see that because I added that jump ring, it's now sitting the right way. Now I'm going to go and string on the rest of the beads. Just turning my beadboard around, and away I go. Just a little tip for you, and I did this in that same hematite and turquoise necklace. I actually missed a bead, so it's quite a good idea as you're threading on each bead to just double check that it's the same place and you have the same beads on the other side. If you're interested in making the jewelry I'm wearing today, I'm wearing my chandelier earrings, and I can leave you a link to the tutorial. I'm also wearing my bracelet here, which was made with the hematite magnetic beads, so I'll leave you a link for that as well. I'm not wearing a necklace today. I feel a bit naked. Now that I've got all of my beads strung, I'm going to double check that I have them all on, and to do that I fold my necklace in half. So I pull on my focal and I make sure that my clasp end and the other end are equal, and just make sure that I have all of the same beads on. And I do that every single time I string a necklace, except the last time where I missed it. So now that I've made sure that that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and crimp it. Before you start to crimp your necklace, you do need to make sure that your jump ring is really well closed. So I'm going to take my 2 pairs of chain nose pliers and just give it a wiggle and make sure that it's closed. Holding my jump ring in my pliers, and I'm just going to push backwards and forwards while pushing towards the other plier, just to make sure that it's closed properly. And I always like to double check mine from the top as well. I can see it's not quite there. Now I'm going to pick up my crimp tube, and I'm going to feed on my wire guardian, up and over, back down the other side. And of course, before I put it back through the crimp tube, I need to put on my jump ring. The aim here is to capture the jump ring inside the wire guardian like that. Now I'm going to feed my end right back down through my crimp tube. You need to give yourself a little bit of space to do this, don't pull it up too tight yet. And now I want to go through some of those beads. And as you can see there, I've got some gaps, so I need to pull everything in. And sometimes it doesn't pull. You can see there it's not pulling. So what I need to do is actually pull everything back up. So pull my crimp tube down for a start, try that. There we go, that's working. If that doesn't work, you can kind of hook your soft flex from up here and pull it up. And that will help you pull it down. I hope that makes sense. Right, I've pulled it all nice and tight. Now I don't want it too tight because I still need my necklace to be able to move a little bit. And I'm going to squeeze both sides of my wire guardian together. And I've got a little bit too much space there, so I'm going to try and pull it a little bit tighter, just pulling my crimp tube down and holding my jump ring in my hand there. There we go, that's a bit better. And then I'm going to take my magical crimping tool and crimp my crimp tube. Squeeze, turn, and you might need to do this several times. It's probably one of my #1 questions, is my magical crimper won't work for me. It's because you just need to go round and round and round and round until it gets the job done. And I always test my crimp tubes as well once I've crimped them. There it is, and I just need to cut off my tail. There we go. And it's quite nice seeing that little pop of blue there coming out with the soft flex. I think that's quite pretty. There it is on, and I think it's a really good length. I really like the colours. I think it's reading a little bit aqua and a little bit purple and a little bit blue, so it's really quite versatile for me. I can always extend the length with my little extender trick that I showed you a little while ago, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. If you enjoyed this one and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss anything, and also give me a thumbs up. Also leave me a comment below. Do you like what I did? Let me know. Do you like the focal? Did you like the little dangle on the bottom? Please let me know. There's a link in the description box below to a blog post that will contain a link to the Soft Flex design kit, and also it will contain links to anything else that I used here. As well as that, there are links for the techniques that I used, and also a link for the Jewel Box group if you would like to join and see how I made, or what I made with the rest of the beads. Remember, check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.